This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Greetings from the Philippines to the world. We are on Facebook Live on Eagle News and also on our streaming site, eaglenewslive.com. Watch us on our YouTube channel at Eagle News. I am Cesar Vallejos. Welcome to Open for Business. Join me discover the latest news and information in business around the world. Stay ahead of the curve from vision to action. The year 2020 ushers in many game-changing technology trends. More advanced individuals and companies have started to embrace these trends. Much stuff which was seen only in the movies years ago has started to take form and use today, and these new technologies drastically change the way we live, work, and socialize. New use cases and applications of technologies offer unique benefits and opportunities that ultimately impact on our lives. Joining us today to give us tech trends in 2020 is Art Samaniego, Jr., Technology Editor of Manila Bulletin. Before he joins the set, here's the business news this week. Hyundai announced it would mass-produce flying cars for Uber's aerial rideshare network set to deploy in 2023. The South Korean manufacturer said it would produce the 4-passenger electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles at automotive scale. The deal announced that the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas could help Uber to achieve its goal of deploying air taxi service in a handful of cities by 2023. Jae-woon Shin, head of Hyundai's Urban Air Mobility Division, said he expects the large-scale manufacturing to keep costs affordable for the aerial systems. Eric Allison, head of Uber Elevate, said by taking transportation out of the two-dimensional grid on the ground and moving it into the sky, we can offer significant time savings to our riders, Allison said. He said that because of its other app-based transport options, only Uber can seamlessly connect riders from cars, trains, and even bikes to aircraft. Inflation rate in the Philippines, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, reported that the country's inflation rate increased at 2.5% in December 2019, its highest in the last 6 months. According to the PSA, the increase from the 1.3% recorded in November 2019 was due to the 1.7% annual increments recorded in the heavily weighted food and non-alcoholic beverages index. The annual inflation rate is 2.5%, reports according to Budget Secretary Benjamin Jokno, comparing the annual average, which is 5.2% in 2018 and down to 2.5%. The reported inflation rate is pretty good, and we are doing well with inflation. Jokno also said that the annual average from 5.2% to 2.5% is within our 2 to 4% target. The midpoint is 3% plus or minus 1%. In terms of economic growth, Jokno blamed global issues including the United States-China trade war for falling short of his inflated targets. It's more realistic to aim for 7%. That's not bad. That still makes us one of the fastest growing economies in the world, reports quoted Jokno. Our bureau in Washington, D.C. covered the CES in Las Vegas. Here's the report.
Hey everyone, I'm Ronnie D. Kabulong, and I'm here at CES Unveiled 2020. And today we're going to go ahead and check out some of the newest and craziest electronics to hit the market. Let's check it out. The Consumer Electronics Show, or CES, is the biggest international electronics convention in the world. CES Unveiled is an exclusive event taking place at the Mandalay Bay Resort in Las Vegas. Here, qualified attendees get a sneak peek of what lies ahead at CES before the convention show floors open. Over 180 tech companies are here, showcasing their newest tech and gadgets. Some of the electronics featured here at CES Unveiled are robots, drones, and even electronics made for lifestyle and fitness. As you can see, there's all sorts of tech and gadgets being showcased here at CES Unveiled, and this is only a mere fraction that CES has in store. So with that being said, I'm Ronnie D. Kabulong from the Las Vegas Bureau, and I'm 1 with 25.
Our discussion on tech trends in 2020 when open for business returns. Stay with us.
Soccer, the world's favorite sport. And it's no wonder. Spectacular goals. And plenty of emotion. The best of game day. Kickoff.
Accurate and fair reporting. Not only from Batanes to Tawi-Tawi, but also abroad. Detailed and timely stories relevant to people all over the world. Catch all of these at Net25, your reliable source of news, entertainment, and technology updates.
Open for Business is back, and with me, who will talk about tech trends in 2020 is Art Samaniego, Junior Technology Editor of Manila Bulletin. Thank you very much, Art.
Thanks for having me here.
Salamat for coming. It is a very exciting start of the year, and a lot of people are talking about tech trends.
Technology,
As a matter of fact, there's a lot of events around the world, and I always see you in your social media posts telling us, informing your readers about the many trends in technologies all over the world. One I mentioned to you, Art, that I came across this article from the towardsdatascience.com. It said that television shows of the 1960s like the Jetsons, di pa tayo pinapanganak noon, predicted that the 21st century will be filled with flying cars. And also, October 21st, 2015 marked the point in time in which Marty McFly or Michael J. Fox traveled in Back to the Future Part 1 and Part 2. Napanood ko pa yan, Art. So, now, with you, really who is very engaged in the technology field, what are the key themes that you are looking at in terms of trends in technology in 2020?
Yeah. First are the things that will affect the consumers. For example, 5G. So 5G will definitely be here in 2020. So it started to roll out in 2019, and it will continue in 2020. And in fact, big tech companies are already rolling out their 5G solutions. So Globe and Smart, they have their own 5G solutions, and so as the brands. They're doing it. So
Now,
Yeah.
sorry, Art. Talking about 5G, of course, with the Filipinos, of course, the internet penetration is still low, but I know that it's increasing, and a lot of Filipinos still don't have access to internet, and lalo na 4G. But what is your outlook on 5G? Like, say, how long do you think the deployment will be? And in terms of infrastructure, what are you seeing in terms of this development? I know that a lot of, as you mentioned, the telcos are already preparing the solutions. But in terms of outlook, do you think it will take a year or more than, a lot of expenditures to really realize the deployment of the solution?
So as of now, there are more than 67 million Filipinos who are connected to the internet.
Okay.
So dun pa lang, it's really promising. And as we speak now, Globe and Smart are rolling out their 5G. So they have become silent in November and December, but expect this year they will really push their product on 5G. Globe, for example, they are using 100% 5G network coming from Huawei.
Okay.
More than 90% those is Smart. So with this, the equipment has become very small. Unlike before, when you need to do big antennas, you need to do big equipments. Now it's really small that only 2 people could carry it and bring it to the building and install it. So what would 5G bring would be really different because it would change the way we work.
Okay.
So everything could be connected to 5G.
So number one, you mentioned it's small. So what about speed?
Yeah, for the speed, well, it would be like if you are riding compared to 10 years ago, you're just riding a bicycle. The maximum speed of a mobile internet is about 1 Mbps.
Okay.
Coming with it's like a bicycle, like compared to a bicycle. Coming in 2020 is the 5G. It's like using a Lamborghini, using a Ferrari, that fast. So that's the difference. It would be more than 100 times
So from
faster.
bicycle to Lamborghini.
So that's why the way we work will also be changed. So
Tama.
mas madami na ang working remotely because it's now capable. The technology is now capable to support you working remotely. So driverless cars. So because all this technology will be useless if there's no fast internet. And 5G will bring us to that. So for example, I went to Japan during the motor show, the Tokyo Motor Show. They let us try the autonomous, semi-autonomous car. Meaning you start it, but you can let it drive all on its own on a highway. So I was asking them, how did you do this? They said, it's being updated by fast internet on the fly.
I see.
So as it drive along the highway, it would get in information. It's scary at first because I don't want to release the steering wheel. But the guy beside me said, no, you release it. So I released it and then it drove.
Where it's supposed to drive.
Yes, you just key in your destination and that's it. And the guy said, you know that the 3D map of this car is made in the Philippines.
Oh, the one you drove in Tokyo.
Yes, the 3D map, the software is made in the Philippines.
I see.
So,
Definitely by Filipino software
yes.
developers.
So, hindi natin alam, there are lots of things coming from the Philippines. As I was telling you, that the internet is here in the Philippines because of a great contribution from the INC. There's this guy higher up who supported the internet. He's one of the pioneers. And without him, hindi ganito kabilis ang development ng internet sa Pilipinas.
Wow. That's really a great thing, Art. Okay, now you mentioned about 2 things already: the speed of 5G, and of course, the smallness of the packages, of the equipment, of the machines. And also, you mentioned about, of course, driverless cars. But the thing is, how important is the readiness of smart cities or locations? I know that with driverless cars, automation, or of course, it's part of the Internet of Things, where everything, all the devices are connected. All these things are connected to the Internet. But is there also an infrastructure that would really compel governments or cities or smart cities to transform itself, for the availability of these technologies? Kasi sinasabi mo, you did that in Tokyo. But of course, we know that Tokyo is really advanced. So you have the 3D mapping there, and it brings you exactly where you want to go. But here in the Philippines, I am also a Waze user, but sometimes it leads me to an area where there are roadblocks. So going back to the question, it is, how important is the development also of smart cities in preparation for greater technologies?
So the support would really be great if it would be supported by the government. The technology would be great if it would be supported by the government, because other countries are really, the technological development are really supported by the government. But now I think it's slowly going on, and our telcos are doing it. So sila yung nangunguna to do these changes. With 5G kasi, it would really change the way we do things. Your phone will no longer be the same with the same form factor, because it would change. So, for example, the rise of the foldable phones. That's because it's being prepared for 5G. Because you cannot watch your video in your. Can I have your phone?
Okay.
In a phone as small as this one.
Okay.
So that's why they have change the way they do their phones. So this is a foldable phone.
This is already foldable.
Yeah, this is foldable phone. So because it's bigger,
yes,
the phone will not be a device of consumption alone. It will be a device of production. So
can you expound on that?
So
it's not a device of consumption, but a device for production.
So now you use your phone, you watch movie, you send messages to you do Facebook and stuff. But with 5G, using your phone alone, you can do a lot of things. You can edit video. You can upload as fast as possible with 5G. So this would only be possible if the government and the private sectors would cooperate.
Pero yun nga, Art, last year, with all these latest technologies and with all the issues about the internet, when some data that were presented, showed the high cost of bandwidth, internet connectivity. Definitely with 5G, it would entail a lot of pressure again. In terms of price points, is there any way to adjust this when we now present as it is now? We're seeing data that it's still expensive, and when you compare it with the rest of the ASEAN region, so we're one of the highest. We have the highest costs now in terms of bandwidth. But now we present another technology. Baka naman lalong mamahal. Yung mga nanonood sa akin na small and medium enterprises, hindi rin nila ma-afford.
Even electricity, the Philippines has one of the highest price sa electricity. So that's the problem of what we're talking about, the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes.
That's one of the impacts, inequality. So there will be inequality when this technology comes along, because at first it would really be expensive. So that's number one, inequality. Imagine only 62 individuals. They have these 62 individuals globally. They have more assets versus the 3.2 billion people. That's half of the world's population. 62. Ha? So it's one of the problems of the Industrial Revolution. And ang makaka-solve lang nito, sabi ng mga scientists, data scientists, the only thing that could redeem the people here is when they learn to cooperate.
Interesting. I want to clarify, or I'll request you to elaborate further. Okay. You're saying that with the fourth industrial revolution, one of the disadvantages would be inequality. Inequality because in terms of wealth, in terms of purchasing power, it's only a small percentage who will be able to avail of better
Who could afford?
technologies.
Yeah, only very few could afford. Flying cars, driverless cars, electronic vehicles. These are very expensive technology that only very few could afford.
At saka, pag sinasabi naman nga natin, kapag the success also of a new technology is mass adoption.
Mass adoption. Dapat may mass adoption para maging successful yung technology. But when this technology first come out, it would really be expensive. And yun nga, the fourth industrial technology would bring us to this one. Inequality, security, content, fake news.
Okay. Okay. Inequality is the disadvantage. But what are the pros? What are the advantages of the fourth industrial revolution?
So every industrial revolution, there should be something that would bring humanity to a higher level. Naging philosophical tayo.
Sige, example. Sige, can you explain that further? Sige, it would bring humanity to a higher level.
The first
Meaning, are we more connected now with our families?
We should use technology to connect with our family. We should use technology to enhance our being human. And this could only be possible if we will cooperate. Yun lang ang susi. We need to cooperate. Number two is, if this technology would be approached or accepted with responsibility, then we will have good development, we'll have embraced our humanity a lot better. Kasi every industrial revolution, there's change. For example, the first industrial revolution, that's when we stop relying on animals.
So
there's
from the
trains,
agrarian reform.
Yes. So second industrial technology, we have the electricity. So nagkaroon ng electricity. So these are the changes that really also change being human. So nag-level up tayo. The third industrial revolution is
computers.
the IT. The IT. Yun yung third industrial revolution. We have the IT, we have the computers na. So yun we change a lot. And the fourth industrial revolution, which I don't know when or it's happening now, is with the cyber and physical systems. So there will be no more disconnection between the machine and human. So magkakasama na yan. So we're being joined together, and if we will not moderate our greed, if that 62 individual will not moderate their greed and become greedy, pabagsak tayo.
Okay. It's really a very interesting discussion, and I have a lot of things to clarify with you, especially when you said fourth industrial revolution being the convergence of physical, even biological, and the digital spheres. More questions about the tech trends in 2020 when Open for Business returns. Stay with us.
Mga kababayan, lalo na sa mga OFWs sa Middle East at North Africa, may good news kami para sa inyo. Mapapanood na ninyo ang Net25 at iba pang Filipino channels na hatid ng OSN sa presyong abot kaya. Libre ng box at installation, walang admin fees at no extra charges. Saktong entertainment na sakto lang sa budget mo. Bumisita na sa pinakamalapit na OSN store o dealer and subscribe now! Sa Net25 at OSN, siguradong at home ka dito. Tamang impormasyon, napapanahon, Mula Batanes hanggang taw-taw. Di lamang sa bansa, kundi maging sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Mga balitang makabuluhan, mga panayam sa kinauukulan, subaybayan. Dito lamang sa Net25. News, entertainment, technology.
Open for Business is back, and still with me is Art Samaniego Jr., the Technology Editor of Manila Bulletin. Kanina sinasabi mo rin, Art, the Fourth Industrial Revolution or fire, others call it fire, like the PCCI President, Ms. Bing Sibalimo, she said, we're on fire. Sabi mo, it's also scary. So can you elaborate what makes the fire or the Fourth Industrial Revolution scary?
So first, there are impacts that it could done to humanity, to the world. Number one, yun nga, it's inequality. Number two is security. Number three, well, the content, it's dangerous. Because of technology, people could control. Those who have money could control the information that we could get. So kaya it's really dangerous. But if this technology is shaped and delivered properly, it could really change. It could catalyze a new cultural renaissance.
When you say catalyze a new cultural renaissance, what do you mean?
So because we need to be responsible for this technology. And if we learn to share, if we learn to cooperate,
Yon.
pag nag-cooperate tayo, we will become part of something bigger.
Okay. Now, I am a regular consumer, or I have a small business, and here is a large enterprise. Where do you see? How will members of the ecosystem cooperate? Kunyari, let's start with the consumer, or let's start with the enterprise. So, operationally, how do we cooperate to make sure that these new technologies will be used in such a way that it will help develop, as you say, humanity?
So I think that's where we come in. We members of the media should come in. Because we need to inform the people what is the truth. We don't need to side to something or to promote something. We need to speak the truth. So that's why personally I don't want us to have advocacies, because if you have advocacy, you will be siding with
Your advocacy.
something. You will be siding with your advocacy, not with the truth, because truth has two sides: your truth and my truth, and the real truth, three sides. So we need to cooperate. And for example, us in the media, we could tell people, we could tell the world to, oy, ang bilhin nyo naman yung local. Because if we will help the local, you will support local, ilang pamilya na papakain mo? Whereas, if you buy from the big companies, from the big entities, sila lang yung mayaman. Whereas, there are great products from Filipinos, made locally,
Which are world class.
yeah, oo. So, pero ngayon puro tayo, sige, mga imported and stuff. So, we
Okay.
need to support these people.
Okay, now Art, as you mentioned, you are also one of the pioneers on coverage of technology, and also one of the your institution is one of the longest and one of the most established organizations in the Philippines. What do you think is the power of technology used in media? We know that there's a lot of broadcasting technologies, printing technologies, and definitely it has also impacted in your industry. In print, naabutan ko pa yun, yung what's this, the Ledo typeset. So in this case, kumbaga, how is technology revolutionizing media? And I appreciate Ofcom when you said EBC, Eagle Broadcasting Corporation, is one of the pioneers in.
You're
in
the first to digitize. EBC is the first to digitize. You know, the cameras.
Yes.
You're the first to use the HD cameras.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very, it's very good that you remember it because you're part of the one who's covering it. So how is technology changing media, both in terms of consumption and production?
For print, for example, 2019 is really a painful year for us. So, but the printed form is not our product. Our product is the news, the content. So the newspaper, the one that you're holding, is just a medium. So in the future, it could be mobile alone. It could be another form. But tayo sa media, people will still go to us because of our integrity. So the media form that will die are those that are not stable. Those that lie, those that people will lost trust. Pero tayo, pag nandito tayo, we capitalize on our integrity. So technology will be a part of our growth. So kaya sinasabi namin, okay, print may die, but not in our lifetime. Nandun pa yung integrity. And if you notice, all media companies in the Philippines, we have social media.
Exactly. Even forums,
accounts,
every
we have forums. So we have changed. So if you don't change with this technology, you will surely die. So we need to adapt to the changing forms of technology.
Okay. Now, Art, there's a lot of small business owners, SMEs who are watching. And our thrust and our advocacy is towards entrepreneurship. We want to help small business owners use technology. Kaya nga, one of the, I think, trends in 2020 is that, there's a lot of apps, there's a lot of technologies already out there. And these are free, that can easily be utilized by small business owners without really spending that much. Now, what are your suggestions, technology solutions, apps, gadgets that small business owners should have, for them to expand their business?
So unknown to many, one of the leaders of the Iglesia ni Cristo started using technology way back before. So he put up SCAN. It stands for Society of Communicators and Networkers. That's the common interest is for radio communication. It's called SCAN. Habang tumatagal ang panahon, na-develop na to at gumawa ng organization siya ngayon na bago. It is called Association of Computer Technologies and Information Volunteers. So the church is using technology to help people. So ito yung, if only other people would follow this example, di ba wala? It's the greed is not there, but the cooperation and the desire to help is there. If only other people would follow through. So ano ang pwedeng ginagawa niya ngayon? Through technology, tinutulungan niya yung mga tao. So even security, I think, the cybersecurity part. Teaching people how to use the computers para magamit sa business. So as a small enterprise, if I help the church actively, I could use this technology being offered to us by the leadership.
Okay, now, with the value of entrepreneurship, we know that there's a lot of technopreneurs now who set up their own businesses using
Yes,
all these
online,
apps.
yeah.
There's a lot of a combination of apps and gadgets that SMEs can avail
Yes.
of. But in your, I noticed also in your technology section that you really, focus on these practical gadgets. If I were a small business owner, what would you suggest for me to have in terms of basic technology? Do I need that much bandwidth?
Yeah.
What solutions would I have to be able to expand my business?
So depende sa business. Depende sa business. For example, these really small entrepreneurs, yung naglo-load, you can use an old phone.
Okay.
So you can use a phone that is not smart because it's just for pasa load,
Yes.
mga load. But if you would go deeper, you need a smartphone. Why? Because you need to connect to Facebook, you need to connect to Twitter, you need to connect to Instagram. Using these things, you could really put up small business. I have a friend who has a son who is now grown up, and she has lots of mga lumang damit. What she did was sell this online on Facebook. After that, now she's doing really good. Namimili na siya ng sarili niya mga damit na. And it's only on Facebook. So, nabubuhay siya because of that small, the thing that she's doing right now.
Now you mentioned, Art, about the importance of social media, which is another new development in this era. What are the changes or what are the trends in Facebook or social media, that will happen in 2020? Will there be new products offered by Facebook, for example? But one of the key news and updates last year was that Facebook is creating, I think, Libra, which is a digital currency. Matutuloy ba itong mga to? Tingin mo, papalo ba ito at kakagatin ba ng mga partners and consumers?
So, for one, social media will continue to be there, but scams will
Be there as well.
Be there as well. So, every time you open your social media now, you can see a lot of scams. When the offer to you looks too good to be true, then it's
a scam.
It's a scam. So, dapat careful tayo dito. So, also, yung Libra, it's a cryptocurrency. That's one of the marks of the Industrial Revolution, the fourth Industrial Revolution. So, people will change the way they treat data, and blockchain will come in.
Which is also another interesting topic, and another trend. A lot of people are now very attracted to blockchain and cryptocurrency because of its nature being immutable, being highly secure. What do you think? What's your outlook on blockchain and cryptocurrency? Will this really, make 2020, a big year for technology? Because I know, based on the forum that we had, blockchain is not only used for fintech now. It can use, it has a lot of applications for pharmaceutical, even legal.
Yes.
Baka nga daw yung notarization by the lawyers will also be utilizing blockchain, and they will, some of them will not have that, part of the lawyer job anymore. So what's your outlook on blockchain and cryptocurrency?
Personally, I know I'll be crucified for this one.
It's okay.
Blockchain kasi, it's overrated. It's overrated now, and we still need to find a perfect example or application that is using blockchain. One is cryptocurrency. Yun pa lang eh.
Bitcoin
Wala
muna,
lang iba. Bitcoin lang. Ano pa yung application ni blockchain? So,
But do you see the potential also?
Yes, the potential is really good because wala nang manloloko. So it's like 10 tao tayo, and then I would say I would change a record here, and it would reflect on you, reflect on the other guys. But imagine I have this proof na eto, binili ko to. Makukuha niyo lahat.
Yes.
So the trust
And the transparency.
is there. Pero, look, for example, in the banks now, somebody scam you using your credit card. Where do you go? You go to the bank and file a complaint. You're using blockchain, and you think there was a mistake that's being done. It's decentralized. There is no one that controls it. Where do you complain? Wala.
Yun lang. Kumbaga whatever his rules are. Unlike with a blockchain, it can be verified by the other members of the community.
Yes. For example, elections. If you will use it in elections. So, since it is the truth, it's accepted by everybody as the truth, and you think you're being, dinaya ka, you cannot complain anymore. Because that's it. It's the truth being accepted by everybody.
Okay.
So it's one of the pitfalls of blockchain, but the technology is really promising. It's there. It's very good. Maybe we can use it for identification. So it's a lot of promise.
There's
a lot of promise.
other tech trends. Like say one would be the breakout moment of artificial intelligence manufacturing. Dito pa sa Pilipinas, tingin mo magagamit na rin yun? Is there, what's the promise of artificial intelligence here in the Philippines? Pero tayo lahat nga, gumagamit na ng Alexa, Siri, and all. So, how is AI here in the Philippines?
So, pwede ba ako mag-mention ng company?
Sure. Go ahead.
There's this big company who's really doing great for the Philippines. It's exporting the technology. The cameras, so it's made in the Philippines, the AI cameras of companies.
What does it do?
For example, you will put it in your doorbell.
Okay.
So it identifies the members of the family.
So, it adds security to it.
Speaking of cameras, I have this really wonderful experience in Microsoft.
Okay.
So they have this thing called the Happy Wife TV.
Happy Wife TV. Okay.
Yeah. So isang TV malaki. When you will look at the TV, you can see something.
Okay.
Pero bago mo panoorin nyo, it will scan all the members of the family. So when you watch the TV, you're watching basketball. Your wife is watching telenovela on the same TV. Because this TV has really high, there's this technology that it will scan your eyes and it only serve to you what movies you want to watch. Same TV, magkaibang pinapanood nyo.
Is that already in the market?
Yeah, it's available now. They're doing
meaning
it now.
what using the same screen, or
The
there are
same
two
screen.
screens?
The same screen.
Hindi nga.
It's so funny.
So like say you have
know,
one screen, screen, and then what I see is something that you don't see.
Yes.
You see only something that that's catered to you.
If you see the TV and you will put a camera, you will see the flickers, right?
Yeah.
Parang nagpi-flicker siya.
Yeah.
So, ang makikita mo lang, yung flicker na nasa taas.
I see.
Dinadayo yung mata natin.
I see. And that's more high-tech than the next-gen TV that I saw in CES, in the reports in CES, where there's now a vertical and horizontal TV. We're running out of time, Art. Can you mention other trends in 2020? We mentioned already about blockchain, about the developments in the fourth industrial revolution. What other tech trends is coming this year? And also please include the thought about jobs, new jobs in the workplace.
Yes.
So what are these other trends that you see now?
Yun nga, the remote workforce will be augmented because of new technology. Also, parents will realize that traditional education is no longer effective. Because the traditional education would tell you to memorize stuff, to memorize facts. But now, because of internet, naging equal na lahat. I'll just ask, hey Google, what is the capital of the Philippines? It would give me, oh, sumagot. It would give me the capital of the Philippines immediately. Hey Google, what's the square root of this? So all the information are there. Depende na lang how our kids will use it. And that is not taught in the traditional schools.
So do you think there should also be a way to somehow revise, amend the educational system where technology initiatives and innovations in technology should be merged or augmented? What's your view on the educational system that will give highlight to because in one of our forums we were focusing on STEM skills, augmented with or revolutionized with new technology skills and even soft skills. What's your view on that? And do you feel those initiatives coming into fruition?
But technology without a soul is really dangerous. Because technology is value neutral. It depends on the people who will use technology. If I'm a bad person, I'm using technology, I could exploit anything. I could exploit everything. But with technology, and I am an ethical person, I could use technology for good. So ito yung importance ng mga schools na ang traditional value tinuturo pa rin. So this is where we educators come in. So we use technology and ethics together. Because technology without ethics is really, really dangerous.
That is a great note to end this interview, and I hope you can come back again so that we can talk more. I think 1 hour is not enough to discuss these trends that's happening this year. We have Art Samaniego Jr., the technology editor of Manila Bulletin, open for business. We'll be back. Stay with us. Thank you.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced, eager news, because we live in interesting times.
In our term phrase of the week, you take a refresher of business terms to make you updated, informed, and ready to make smarter business decisions. Our term of the week is from zdnet.com. It's Internet of Things. The Internet of Things, or IoT, refers to the billions of physical devices around the world that are now connected to the Internet, collecting and sharing data. Thanks to cheap processors and wireless networks, it's possible to turn anything from a pill to an airplane to a self-driving car into part of the IoT. This adds a level of digital intelligence to devices that would be otherwise dumb, enabling them to communicate real-time data without a human being involved, effectively merging the digital and physical worlds. And our word of the week is from Albert Einstein. He said, "It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. The human spirit must prevail over technology." Thank you for watching Open for Business. Join us again in the next episodes of Open for Business for more insights from CEOs, thought leaders, and industry experts promoting business development in the Philippines. See you again every Saturday and Sunday here in Open for Business, where we discuss business information, deliver the latest business news to keep you informed and open for business, and be ahead of the curve from vision to action. You're on Facebook Live on Eagle News, and you can watch this again in the video section of the Eagle News Facebook page and on eaglenewslive.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Eagle News. For Open for Business, this is Cesar Vallejos. Have a great day.